ways of self-development in terms of the English language knowledge. And the reason that I chose this topic, because as an English, also, sorry, as an English teachers in non-English speaking country, we struggle to keep our knowledge viable because we don't have an easy access to the native speakers. So we don't have an opportunity to practice our English whenever we want. And as you may know, not only your knowledge of the English language, but any kind of knowledge tends to fade over time if you don't exercise it, if you don't practice it. So how do we keep practicing our English on a daily basis, and how do we keep developing our knowledge further? To answer to that question, I have prepared a humble, but in my opinion, very practical list of resources that I would like to share. In my experience, these resources would be from my own experience, and from my experience, I would like to divide learning process into 3 parts. The first part is theoretical, then practical, and then entertaining. As for the theoretical part, I would like to recommend this website, which is called Home English. The reason that I use this website is because it has a huge database. You can basically find everything you need on this website. For the theory of the English language, I found this website when I was a student in university, and I've been using this website since then. And I also made a short list for you to get a general idea of what you can get from this website. So this site has free English lessons, all of the English grammar, phrasal verbs, vocabulary, books of famous authors in English, books for self-teaching, stories and tales, and useful list of essential words in English. And not only you can use this website to develop your own knowledge, but you can also use it to teach your students at school. So I really hope that this website will help you to find what you need in the future. So let's move to the next part of my presentation, which is practical part. And as for the practical part, I would like to recommend this resource called YouTube. I know that a lot of you know about, or every one of you know about the YouTube, but not every English teacher uses YouTube to watch English content. And YouTube is the most powerful tool for us to watch English content, because you can basically find videos in English on any topic, but more importantly, you can find English lessons with grammar and vocabulary from the native speakers. So it's a huge advantage for people like us, for people who learn English language, because you can learn those speaking patterns from the native speakers that you can't learn from the book. And since there are a lot of native speakers on YouTube that teach English, I would like to make a few suggestions of my own, the YouTube channels that I used to watch when I was starting to learn English. The first channel is called English with Ronnie. Ronnie is a woman, she's a native speaker. The reason that I recommend her to you, because she has very unique and very fun way of delivering information on her channel. So this is a list of things that you can find on her channel. She has all of the English grammar, English vocabulary. She also teaches pronunciation, how to sound like a native speaker. And also you can find words like slang and other words that you can't find in a regular book. And another channel that I used to watch is called Adam's English. This is also easy to understand channel. He also has all of the English grammar, vocabulary, but he also gives some tips and tricks for you to speak English better on this channel. So these few channels are just a little example of how you can use the YouTube to learn English. but there is so much more on YouTube that you can use to develop your own knowledge. For example, I watch a lot of entertaining content, I watch a lot of educating content on YouTube, and I also watch a lot of streams on YouTube. And what's more important is that it's all for free. You don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to pay any money for that. And speaking about money, I would like to go to the next part of my presentation, which is entertaining part. Entertaining part. For the entertaining part, I would like to recommend Netflix. Netflix is yet another popular resource that you all may know about, but still I think that people underestimate the power of watching content in English, and there is no better place for us to watch English content than Netflix. Unfortunately, Netflix isn't free. You have to pay relatively affordable price for what you will get thousands of interesting movies and TV shows with multiple languages and subtitles. And the fact that the Netflix gives you the opportunity to switch between the languages is also a huge feature for us, I think, for the people who are learning English. So I think if you're interested in watching some movies, to start some movies from Netflix, I have also a few recommendations. These are two TV shows that I used to start watching when I was learning English. The first one is The Big Bang Theory. The second one is How I Met Your Mother. Both of these are comedies. They're very light, they're very easy to understand, and easy to watch. So if you're interested, you can look into them. So the reason why I included Netflix to this list, and the reasons why my list looks like this, is because over than 90% of my speaking skills is coming from watching English content, and especially movies and TV shows. And whereas my experience with native speakers is almost close to a 0%. So that tells you the power of watching content in English. That's why I wanted to talk about it in this presentation today. And also in our school, we try to provide our pupils with the English content. We try to direct them to some of the YouTube videos and to some of the movies that we think they would benefit from. And also we make some speaking sessions with our students in our school. And I have a short piece of a video from the recent speaking session that we had. So if you wouldn't mind, I would like to show it to you. Values.
About money or relationship. I think the money is more important than relationship.
Why would you think that?
But my parents think relationship more important than.
Okay. Who thinks that the money is more important than the relationship? Okay, so do you think that the money is important than friendship, than partnership, right? You see, money Would someone honestly be your friend and honestly love you for your life? How do you think?
I would like to suggest one thing. There is an issue about mother language. Mother language. And we don't respect that's me, but other young people, some young people don't respect our basic language. So I think they have to respect and live up our language, and it will be good.
Okay, why do you think that other young people disrespect them?
Why?
Mhm.
I don't see. I don't know why, but especially like in Spain, and they don't like speaking in
Oh, so
I
they
think this is the main issue.
manage to right? You think that they don't want to speak our language, so they prefer to use Russian?
Yes.
I think they think it's boring.
Maybe.
Well, actually, a lot of the times, don't you think that the people who think that the Catholic language is boring, they try to speak Russian languages. Those are the people who are actually boring, don't you think?
Yes, I think so.
I like to speak.
Okay.
What grade is it?
Now,
What grade is it?
they're 9 and 10th grade. So this was a little piece from the speaking session that we had, but we also do some speaking sessions with our teachers also in order to keep practicing our speaking skills and in order to develop them even further. And right now, as Jas Maman, I don't know how Jas Maman would be in English, I am Jas Maman as well. I would like to ask a few questions. If you have any other resources maybe, or maybe other ways of practicing your English, you could share it right now because it would be really useful. That's why we're here today. So I would like you to think of at least one resource that you could share or tell us about that you think is interesting. Okay, yes.
English.
English?
It's called English. Here you can find, can you type English on Google? Yeah. Here you can just work with your pronunciation. For example, I can show English, like YouTube, but English. Yeah. Here you can find, type any word, and you can find it, how pronounce it in YouTube, how pronounce it native speakers in American English, in British English, Australian English, and
Is it correct?
yes,
So you have to type the word,
yeah,
and it gives
type
you
the
the
word, and
correct
it gives you
pronunciation.
videos. For example, I don't know, maybe important is the word. Many videos, yeah, the fragment where they say important, the word important. I think it's very useful to work with your pronunciation.
All right, but, very important but, I love
Actually, I use this slide when I, in my
Christmas carols.
intermediate level.
I really like the art of Mantegna. I really like looking at old churches. I really like turning the pages of the Old Testament. Whatever it may be, you know the kind of thing I'm talking about. People who are
Yes, it's free, and I used this site when I was in my intermediate level, when you know words, but you can't pronounce it correctly.
Okay.
So it's free, and you can find American English pronounced and British English pronounced, any accent.
Okay, I think this is really great. I didn't know about this website, so thank you for sharing it. Maybe
Also, my pupils use it.
yes, you can use it with your students in school as well. Yes. Any other resources? Maybe ways of practicing, interesting ways. For example, as I said, in our school, every week we do speaking sessions with our teachers. So that's one way of keep practicing your English? Maybe you have other ways that you do.
The participants of your club only English teachers or other subjects too. You know, there's some teachers of physics, chemistry, and biology try to speak English too. Do you work only with English teachers?
If they want,
Yes, they're welcome if they want to, but I don't think that they would be willing to speak with us because I haven't met any other subject teachers who are speaking fluently in English. Unfortunately.
I strongly feel about your effort. It isn't easy task to speak English and to make your colleagues speak English.
Okay, maybe as an experienced teacher, you have some resources or maybe techniques for us to.
Our generation is a generation of digital learners. Your generation is a generation of digital users. But nevertheless, I think that the most important is the feedback, the final result. In my practice, I try to use all the resources of British Council, and it works. And this year, I'm very proud that two of my students passed the IELTS test with 6 scores, and I'm proud of that. It was unbelievable for me that a simple suburb teacher of a simple village school is able to do that, but I've done that. And I think that British Council resources gave me a big hand in my work, and I recommend you to use too. There are so many resources. Sometimes when you try to find anything, even you can't choose what to choose. And I've started in British Council resources, and all the types of works that was named by you, you can find there too.
Yeah, there are a lot of resources. That's why I'm asking. Maybe you have some other different resources than mine to share. For example, her example was excellent. I'm pretty sure that I'll be using it in the future. I think we all do. So if you have any other such examples that you can share. Okay.
You're asking about only for practicing pronunciation, speaking skills?
Not only, but I think the very purpose of the language is to be spoken.
Yeah.
So when you speak English, you practice everything. You practice grammar, you practice even your reading, because you read your thoughts in your mind. Speaking skills, I think the speaking part is the most important part. If you can speak freely in English, then you can properly teach your students to speak as well.
Yes.
Because the very purpose of the language is to be spoken.
And how many students participate in your club from your school?
Well, usually it's more than 10 students, not much.
It's not bad.
Yes, I know. So, do you have any questions?
I wonder, can teachers from other schools participate in your? Yes, you mentioned that.
Good idea.
You
We
can
create
get
a part in
teachers.
order to develop our speaking skills.
Yes, I would like to participate.
Well, you're more than welcome to come to our school. Do you live somewhere nearby?
Yes, I work at the neighboring school.
Okay, then we will keep in touch, and maybe someday we'll get to speak to each other in English. You're welcome to come. Maybe you will leave your contacts, so we can contact
We'll call
you.
to you.
Yes. Okay, we'll contact
Can I ask
you.
you,
Okay.
how many years have you been in the sphere of education?
Education.
Yes.
Well, I've been studying 4 years in university, and this is my 3rd year of working in school. So in total, I've been
And what university?
South Kazakhstan Mukhtar Avezov State University.
You know that Netflix is painful, and watching English films is not easy to find free films. Yeah. Didn't you know some free sites where we can watch films, series?
Well, see on different sites, on free sites, it's not as how to say as comfortable to use, because sometimes you can't find some of the videos, sometimes you can't find. I would when a new movie comes out, I try to find it for free, but most of the times I can't find it. So a lot of the times I go to on Netflix and watch it there. So
11,000 is not pocket friendly.
No,
no, it's not 11,000.
Watch it in one.
It's about 5,000 and something. 5,000 and 11.
Per month?
Huh?
Per
Netflix.
month.
Netflix. Yep, they have 3 categories: premium and some large, some. And the
I just asked that don't you know about free sites?
I know, I can't even tell you about the red zone. It's called.
I know.
Yes, but there are only movies on YouTube free. Why?
Only videos. I want to watch a film series.
So
No?
this is a free website. It's called Red Zone. You can find a lot of movies here as well. But the reason that I didn't mention this website because it takes some time for you to come in here, and not always you can upload those movies. Sometimes they fail. BBC aşık kaşık sözcükte yapmaya falan. So that's the reason they have some issues. That's why I wanted to give you issueless resource, which is Netflix. It's almost pointless. It's the one disadvantage of the Netflix is that you have to pay 5,000 a month. But I think 5,000 is a relatively affordable price because we pay for our internet providers nowadays more than 5,000, right? So I think we can afford it.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, if you don't have any other questions, I really hope that my recommendations was useful to you, and after this presentation, you will start consuming English content more. So thank you for paying attention.
Thank you.